Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. After my 2 lunar flights, I figured we'd pop into the research center and see where we stand before we do anything else today. So, as you can see, we have over 300 science, which is more than enough to buy everything that remains on Tier Tech 3. So new antenna, new communicatrons, the hardware needed for Kerbals to walk up and down the side of the ship. Yeah, this one. And so anyways, in the keeping with my unofficial policy of buying everything on a tech tier before moving into the next, 180, that's going to be interesting to try and get that. I think I'm going to have to land on the moon, get that but I can also get some tech. Anyways, so let's clear out this tech. We've got that, we've got our new communicatron, and we've got some mobility enhancement hardware. So it seems sensible to me that the next big target will be acquiring spacesuits. Yeah. Everything necessary to send Kerbals to the moon without worrying about getting them back again. Poor guys. Yeah. Also, I have heat shields, which means I could design my high orbit goo return and also a Mooner return probe, which would be good practice. I might need the bigger engine for that first, but I think we'll start this episode with a manned flight, because heaven knows throwing a manned capsule on top of a big bloody ship is never a bad thing, right? We'll also just have a quick peek at the science archives here, which I believe has a glitch where you have to load it twice to actually get the information. So yeah, as I was saying, we missed precisely 1 Mooner gravity scan. Southwest crater, I think it was, which kind of sucks, but I guess that's just life. And we're missing a handful of crew reports in orbit around Kerbin, namely the Badlands, the shores, and the ice caps. So let's see what we can do. So I think, yeah, you know what, let's start with a manned flight, because how could that not be fun, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to take Luna Flight Mark IV, and we're going to try something new here. I'm going to see if I can put all of this into a subassembly and see what it says about that. No, it did not like that. I wonder how you make... Alright. Reopen it. Something I've been meaning to learn is how to make subassemblies. So, because this is a standard orbital thing, the only difference is what I want to put underneath it. Nope. Wrong again. That is not how the game works. Okay. One more try. Okay. Subassemblies. Drop this monstrosity into here. This shall be called Luna Flight Boosters. Lift assembly. Alright, we'll try that on for size. Okay, so now that we've done that, what we need to do is yank this off of here, drop that. Right, that erases everything, because I recall it getting a little weird. Okay. So we need less batteries, because we're not going as far. We do not need... Those batteries can stay as balance. Actually, no. You know what we'll do? We'll deal with that in a minute. First thing we need to do is put on a Stack decoupler right there. And then we need to disable the electrical on that by default. And we definitely need a parachute. Wonder which one's the actual better parachute. 16XL, well, we didn't have any trouble with the Mark 16 on here, and the Mark 16 is sufficiently light. Okay. So, okay, I probably didn't need to subassembly this, but it's kind of cool to have it set up like that. Okay. So exactly the same rig. It actually may be overbuilt to a certain extent, but we'll see what happens. So we don't need... we can just leave that the way it is. That's about as light as it's going to get anyways. So is there anything else we need to put on here? Illuminators? No. Goo? No. No, not in this flight. Oh, hold on. We can go with... Let's see, how much does that weight? 0.06, so it's lighter. Alright, let's try that. Get rid of that. Those. And old, out with the old. In with the new. Now, how exactly are we going to put this on here is the question. We put one of those on each one of these like that. Maybe? I don't know, is that necessary? I have no idea. I don't even know if it'll work installed like that or not. Let's see, this will be Kerbal Orbiter Mark 1. Roman numerals, as always. Okay. So let's just get a action group. Okay, so I've updated to the newest version of Better Than Starting Man. There were a few tweaks to it. Let's see, crew report on custom 2. There were a couple of tweaks. Nothing too extraordinary. I believe there were... there was the biggest change to the lower tech tiers was goo no longer is hotkeyed as part of the process of getting this ready to well, basically making the whole thing easier. No, we definitely want those separate. I'd have to go look at the notes, but basically it had to do with making it so you couldn't reset the goo, which would not make any sense, resetting an experiment. This was a small error I wanted to fix right there. Okay, so nothing like strapping poor. Who's going to be the Kerbal today? Bill? No, let's send Lars into orbit. Just for somebody new. Let's have Lars be the test pilot on this. And we're going for polar orbit. Primarily because we need the Badlands and the poles are the two major biomes we need. So there's absolutely no reason not to just go for a polar orbit. Really, if we're going to orbit, we might as well do the right orbit. Anyways, this should be interesting. Launching in 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. SAS locked. Oh dear. Come on. Come on. Come on. Okay. Oh, that was close. That was an ugly, ugly tumble we almost had there. Not a pretty start to this flight, Lars. It's no wonder you're looking just a little nervous. Things that I've discovered about this ship, you really don't want a gravity turn on the low altitude portions of these flights. Seriously. Because once this thing starts tipping over in the low atmosphere, it's gone. It is going, gone. Yeah. As it is, I've also had an interesting time getting this beast into orbit, so yeah. was a couple of experiments I conducted during an off period where things did not exactly go according to plan. Anyways, this is going okay, but if I'm not careful, I am going to lose it here. Alright, get some more gas. Come on, keep her steady, Lars. Keep her steady. My plans to record a new series with my friend Lars this weekend kind of fell through due to life challenges. Let's leave it at that. It's been a busy, busy month. So hopefully next weekend. Also want to get my Better Than Wolves server back up and running. We've got a couple of friends we've been meaning to try and get a series recorded on that for almost 8 months now. Everyone's just been really busy. School and kids and life in general. Okay, come on. Keep her steady. We're still good. We're still good. We're losing it. We're losing it. Come on. Just a little longer. Just hold it. Hold it there a little longer. And we should be fine. What tech level we get additional life support modules, because right now all we have is the life support that's in the basic mod, the can, so to speak. I have a sneaking hunch that we're actually getting a lot of. Alright, let's just slow that down and let's actually have a look at the map. How's our apoapsis? Our apoapsis is good. So we could, but we don't want to miss out on our crew reports, so we better be careful what kind of angle we boost it into orbit at. We'll just twist it a little there. Well, I guess let's cut it there. We might be able to actually boost this thing into the high orbit if we play our cards right. But yeah, we might be able to swing it high and get the really far out in space crew report as an added bonus to this. Really depends how far this life support goes for us. Nose down, cut, nose down. This is looking good. Burn that orbit. Well, it looks like we're going to get everything we want. Including that high apoapsis. Okay. Let's kill it. Whoa, okay. Well, apparently we're going to have a little bit of trouble getting rid of this lower module. That's a bit of a pain. Alright, well, we'll see what we can do about that. How high did our apoapsis? Well, we might as well add the extra kilometer to that. Okay. So this is going to make life a little interesting because I don't think we can actually get the Arctic crew report with this particular configuration. Let's see what happens with these communicatrons. Beautiful. Looks good. Looks real good. Alright. Well, I guess we'll see what altitude we're at over the pole here. This is going to be a very, very narrow window to get that super duper high elevation crew report. And maybe if we're lucky, we'll get both. Alright, let's see where we're at here. Let's get the crew report. Crew report above the water. Reset the experiment. Alright. Swinging over the ice caps, I hope. Yes, we are. Transmitting that. I really don't want to leave this garbage in orbit. I really miscalculated how much lighter this module is. Come on, take us up over 450, exactly as planned. Well, not exactly as planned, but appropriate. Up, up. So this guy's in orbit. This guy's in orbit. All right. And perfect timing to get a high over Kerbin report. Send that data back, Lars. And let's see if we're going to be lucky enough to hit the Badlands. I can never remember where the fool things are, but I think we're going to miss them on this orbit, but we still got a fair amount of fuel yeah. Anyways, I guess we'll see what happens as we swing back around again. I mean, this super high apoapsis isn't going to be such a bad thing for our orbit. Now, oh yeah, it's over, no wait. It's over here somewhere. So if we slow down as we come over this part of the continent, grasslands reset. There is absolutely no indicator of where Badlands are on this planet, I tell you. So let's see. It's hard to say if we have enough fuel for a second pass. I think we're going to miss out on the Badlands on this pass. Yeah, we're too far east. But when we hit our... No, you know what? We're going to burn... I'm not entirely sure how we're actually going to get out of this bloody orbit. Because I don't particularly want to take that thing that's attached to my ship down with me, but I don't know if I have any way around it, really. 120 life support left. I think it's going to be iffy to actually get this thing around the planet again. So let's just retrograde ourselves out of orbit here and let's be conservative. Coming back with a live Kerbal is much more valuable to me. Okay, so that'll bring us in. All right, well, if we do that, I wish I had a better feeling for exactly how far this would go. I really don't want this guy to die in orbit. It's much more useful to get him back alive, to be honest. So let's get rid of this mess. And we'll accelerate away from it for a little while here. Using our delightful... There we go. Cool. All right, so 2 out of 3, well, 3 experiments if you include the high orbital data collection. So I'm not going to complain too hard about that. That was definitely would qualify as a successful mini mission for Mr. Lars Kerman there. In fact, I think I will, end this mission and then run another mission immediately getting goo into orbit. But the other thing is that this rig has more than enough fuel to get into orbit and still manage to let's just turn this thing over so we're not freaking out about what angle we're at. Probably as a prototype Mooner module, this is going to be pretty good. All right. And then what we'll do, I didn't leave any RCS on the actual... I made that design mistake again. I should have one more separator in here so that I can keep the RCS and batteries. Ooh, right, batteries. That would have been embarrassing. All right, over the South Pole. And slowly coming down, but we are going to come down for a water landing again, which is good. We are coming down to the point of going to want to tip ourselves up. Nice steep angle, a re-entry angle, almost in place. Cool. We're coming in at a nice shallow angle too, though. It'd be kind of cool. So this is going to be the rig that I'm going to use to put a goo sample into the high space loop. And I think this has also got some potential. If I put the larger, I could put larger tanks on here and use it as a lunar lander maybe. Maybe I'll just try the lunar landing with the smaller. Well, they didn't quite have enough fuel left on some of my previous attempts, did it? That's my big concern. Okay, well, let's close up those antennas so that they don't cause me any grief. And I think the wise thing to do will be to eject this thing and hope for the best. Yeah, I think I made the right decision not trying to go for a double orbit with this thing. All right, let's say goodbye to the command rig. Or, not the command rig, but everything else. And let's hope that this angle, such as it is, was enough. I'm going to come down on land, aren't I? I am going to hit that continent. I'm going to hit this continent. That would be hilarious. Because I'm going to suddenly get a massive amount of aero braking. That is really funny. Okay, so let's just hope that the gods of Kerbal Space Program are with us and we don't hit the debris that is really kind of not that far away from us right now. Because it's got a much larger profile than we do and it will break much more quickly. But we're coming in at a very shallow angle. We still got lots of life support, still got lots of power, more than enough to get us into the atmosphere and to the ground, which is really all that I need at the end of the day. Because I think once we're in the low atmosphere, it doesn't, well, I have no idea if they can open the window or if they can actually run out of life support in the low atmospheric levels. Oh, geez. Hopefully, come on. Come on. Aero braking, whatever. Looks like we're going to overshoot the continent. We are, the thing's keeping a perfect retrograde, as far as I can tell. Well, it sounds like, oop, that blew up quite beautifully. Oh, it's still going. Still going. There it goes. I think that, no, there's still some of it left. No. Wow. Beautiful. That was quite the show. All right, and this thing is braking quite nicely. Lots of shield left. And we came in at a really shallow angle, which I think is good. I think the shallow angles are better. I hope they are. Well, the good news is we're definitely going to come down in the middle of the ocean, which is what I was hoping for. I love the deadly re-entry. I really do. It makes the game bloody hard, but boy, is it ever cool. Just knowing that that is the difference between life and death for our Kerbal here. Yeah, still a fair chunk of our heat shield left. I hope. That ablative shield is burning. Come on. Wow. Guys. Oof. If I'd come in much shallower, it may very well have been the death of Lars Kerman there. That's kind of a scary thought. But there's still 50, little less than 50 left of it, so, you know, we'll take that. Now all that's left is the hope that this parachute didn't take any damage from that and doesn't, you know, rip off and send Lars plummeting to his death. We'll find that out in a few moments, though. You just can't take any risks with these re-entries, though. And one of those risks is a gamey one where I am absolutely terrified of the idea of using time warping when we're in the atmosphere. I've heard that all sorts of things can go horribly, horribly wrong if you time warp in the atmosphere. Alright, well, we should be okay to deploy our parachute now for the pre-deployment braking session. The advice I got seems to have been good about how this thing actually functions. Let's just hope. I mean, this parachute has gotten this rig to the ground before, so that's the promise, shall we say. But we will see. And here we go. Beautiful. And this is the point at which time warping is actually safe. Once the last parachute is deployed, you can drift cleanly down into the water. Well, thank you guys for watching very much. Let's recover our vessel and see how much science we got for this. We'll have a quick peek and then we'll call it an episode. Returned from a vessel from Kerbal orbit. Extra 10 science there, so 105, which is not an adequate quantity to get any of the new tech. We need at least a couple more experiments. So I will plan that out in the next episode. Again, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.